MLB segment we have now, and it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. We're going to be a little bit crammed for time, so we had this idea. We're going to do MLB report cards on the first half of the season. Now, I go back to the room after our last segment, and our producer, Sam Davis, he's telling me, no way you can do that. There's no way you can do that. He says, you got to pick a few teams and start there. And I go, no, we're doing all 30 teams. We're gonna do it. We're going to conquer the undoable. But then he said, you're going to run out of time. We don't have enough time for you to do this. So
we'll do it.
We'll do
it.
So what we're going to do now is we are going to make sure we have enough time. We're going to try to get each division in 2 minutes and 30 seconds with both our grades. All right? And we're going to start with the AL East. If we don't get it in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you're going to hear a buzzer sound that Sam Davis will play. He's got the timer in the back. So we're going to start this thing. We're going to go AL East. We're going to start with 65 and 30, the Yankees. I'm going to go A+ to start with them.
I'm going to go A. It's just because of the recent stretch they've been on recently, but, they've really been strong all around, so I got to go A.
All right, so second is the Tampa Bay Rays, 52 and 41. I'm going to say it's an A- year for the Rays. Just the ability to contend and never really with a huge free agency signing is impressive to me.
Yeah, the Rays have always been able to put a competitive team together on a low budget. However, I kind of did expect a little bit more from them this year, so I'm going to go with a B.
All right, interesting grade. Blue Jays, 51 and 43. I just felt like this was the year they could really take off. So I'm a bit disappointed in them. I think Vlad's having a terrific year. They have the bats. Just I'm not sure if the pitching's been quite there this year. I'm going to go C+ because I've really expected a lot out of them.
I mean, yeah, I did expect a lot of them too. Obviously, Simeon departed. Their Cy Young pitcher Robbie Ray departed. So, I think people forget that a lot of their big names from last year actually left the team. So, I'm going to go B-.
Okay, B- for you. We got the Boston Red Sox, 48 and 46. I'm going to go C-. Really disappointed with them.
Yeah, I'm going to go C- as well. The Red Sox, they kind of just fallen off a cliff. They've been really streaky this year. Got off to a terrible start. Then they had a great stretch in June. And then, they've just been terrible as of recently.
What's your grade with them?
C-, also C-.
So you're going C-. I went a little harsh with the Blue Jays at C+.
Yeah.
I think we got plenty of time here. So we got the Orioles at 46 and 47. What's nice about the grades is it's different for every team.
Yes.
So I think I'm going to go with a B+ for the Orioles. 46 and 47, they're 500. You got to love that.
I'm going to go A- with the Orioles. Nobody expected them to be contending whatsoever. And, they're like 3 games back from the wild card spot, and they play in the toughest division in all of baseball. They're a 500 team right now. I'm going to go A- because I think, they're better than, a lot of other teams that play in other divisions.
Okay, we're through the AL East. No buzzer sounded. We move on to the AL Central. The Minnesota Twins, 50 and 44. I'm going to go A- for the Twins.
I'm gonna go. I'm also gonna go A- for the Twins. They're first place in the Central right now. Obviously, their record isn't really that high. They're not really above 500 by that many games, but they're also playing the AL Central, which is one of the weakest divisions in baseball. So, to be where they are right now, I give them an A- just because they're in first place.
So you go A- with the Twins. I go A- as well. So we're both A-, right?
Yep.
All right, so moving on to the Cleveland Guardians, first season as the Guardians. They are 47 and 44. They obviously lose Lindor 2 seasons back. They've impressed me. I think they've got some key pieces. They're not quite there. This is a really disappointing division, but they've done a solid job. I'm going to go B, a solid B. They're a B for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B+ because I think the Guardians were really just supposed to tank this year. And they lost a lot of players. They're no longer the 2016 World Series team they sent out there to play the Cubs. But they have shown a lot of heart this year, and I think this Guardians team has proven to me that they can contend on a big stage. So I give them a B+.
Okay, so you go B+ with the Guardians. I go B. White Sox, 46 and 47. I'm gonna go D.
I'm gonna go C- with the White Sox because the White Sox, there's still a lot of time left. They play in the AL Central. They're only 3.5 games back, believe it or not. So, there's still time for them to catch up. But at 46 and 47, you would expect a lot better from this White Sox team.
We go on to the Tigers, 38 and 56. Many thought with Baez signing, a lot of young prospects. Could have been a huge year for them. They're 2 and 8 out of the last 10. I'm going to go D+, just because they didn't have a lot of expectations. They're still bad, but nothing there for me.
I'm going to go D- because, a lot of people expected the Tigers to, be like the Orioles a little bit, actually expect to contend, because, they made a couple of trades. They traded for Austin Meadows. They signed Javier Baez. They expected to contend at least a little bit. So I got to go D minus because I don't think this Tigers team has improved in any way, despite the additions they made.
So far, making good time. Kansas City Royals a touch under the Tigers in the AL Central. They are last, 36-57, and I'm gonna go with a C for the Royals.
Yeah, I can't give above a C for any team that is just as bad as the Royals, and they're expected to be bad. So I gotta go C minus.
Ooh, we made perfect time there. C minus for you for the Royals. I go C. So just to recap, I went A minus Twins. I went B for the Guardians, D for the White Sox, D plus for the Tigers, C for the Royals. You have what are your grades for the Central again?
I don't remember. You probably wrote them down.
I think you got A minus for the Twins. I think you went B minus for the Guardians. You went D plus for the White Sox. I want to say.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the red for Tigers and
All right,
Royals.
yeah, we got to move on.
Let's move on. We're running out of time. Okay, new clock now. We get a new clock every time. So we go AL West. We go Astros, 62-32. Listen, this team's great. They're an A plus for me, just like the Yankees.
Yeah, I agree. I don't believe in A pluses honestly, so I got to give an A to the Astros.
You don't believe in A pluses?
No, I do not.
So you don't want an A plus when your teacher gives you a grade?
But I've never gotten an A plus, and the teachers don't give me A pluses. So
right,
I got to go with it. I got to go with an A for the Astros, just because they lost Carlos Correa to free agency. Same with like George Springer a couple years ago. Their young players always just seem to step up.
All right. I'm tough with the Mariners right now. 51-43. They're 9-1 out of the last 10. I'm between A and A plus, but I'm gonna go A with the Mariners.
I'm gonna go A minus because the Mariners started off brutally, and then it took a really good run for them to come back up. They're in a really good position right now, but there's still a long way to go. But you got to be happy with where the Mariners
I'm
are.
learning now. I'm putting your grades now too, so I can say them at the end. But Rangers, 42-50. They get Seager in the offseason. I think there was a little bit of more hope that they could be good, but they're a touch under 500. I'm not that down on them. I think they could be better. C plus, I'll give them 42-50.
I'm gonna give them C minus just because of the money they spent. On those two free agents and John Gray as well.
So you go C minus there.
Yes.
Moving on, Angels. Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go F. Ohtani, Trout. You got Rendon. He started the season healthy. You got Syndergaard in the offseason. I needed more out of you. You started off the season great. Then things just downward spiral after firing Madden has not gotten better. Really disappointed with this Angels team.
Yeah.
I want to see them in the playoffs and succeed. They just haven't done that. They're an F. They're an F for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go D minus just because they only have the two best players in baseball, and that's it.
So are you not about the extremes?
No.
You're not F. You're not A plus.
No.
Okay. Athletics, 34-62, 29 games back of the Astros. Really uncompetitive. I mean, the bottom of this division is really, really struggling this season. For me, it's just a D. We know they're bad. What do you expect out of the Athletics? They shipped Olsen.
Well, you never said I was F, Michael. I'm going to go F on the Oakland A's.
Okay, so you are.
Yeah, I'm going to go F on the Oakland A's because, they're an absolute disgrace to Major League Baseball because of, what they did. I understand that they're rebuilding and all, but, it's kind of disgrace to how they treat their fans. They're going out, they plan to rebuild, and then they raise their ticket prices. They don't give a crap about attendance whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's become, less about the game and more about them. So, I mean, it's not really what, a fan wants to see. So
there we go.
Got to go F with the Oakland A's.
Buzzer sounds. Here are the grades. Astros A plus for me. Seebach gave him an A. Mariners, we both gave him A's, A minus for Seebach. Then C's for the Rangers, C plus, C minus. Then Angels, I gave an F. Sebastian a D minus. And then we switched it around. Athletics D. You gave him an F. Okay, moving on. We're over to the NL, making pretty good time. 128. New buzzer sounds. NL East, the Mets, 58-36. For me, it's an A. Great season for them. I'm really close to an A plus. But those are 60-plus win teams right now, and I'm going A for the Mets.
I'm giving an A to the Mets, too, because, they finally live up to the expectations.
And these were the expectations.
Yeah, these were the expectations.
You get an A.
I mean, they lived up to the expectations, so you can't really give them lower than that.
So we're going A for A, Mets. Braves, 57-38. I love the comeback. I love the fight. I love everything about this team. Lose Freeman, don't miss a beat. They get Olsen, A for me.
I'm giving them an A, exactly, because, the Braves, they're always kind of, in my mind, doubted every year. It's the Mets. Oh, it's the Phillies. The Braves have won the division the past 4 years when nobody expected them to. So, yeah, always, I'm giving the Braves an A.
Okay, here we go. Phillies, 49-44. Fired Girardi midseason. Bryce Harper out for the season, as it looks like with the hand injury off the Blake Snell pitch. They signed Castellanos in the offseason. Don't think they got what they wanted out of him, but Schwarber, he's been dominant leading the NL in home runs. I'm going to go B+.
I'm going to go B because 49-44, it kind of took that run for the
So I
Phillies.
have to take into account the fact that they've faced adversity and they're above 500.
Yes.
It's a tough division.
Yes, and they fired their manager. They came back. They're in tough division. I got to go B because I think that they're a solid team, but I don't think they're there just yet.
Okay, here we go. We got the Miami Marlins having a all right season. They're 44-49. They have the best pitcher in baseball probably right now in Sandy Alcantara, leading the National League and the entire MLB in innings pitched. I'm going to go like B-. I think is a good grade for this team, considering everything that happened with Jeter, him leaving the franchise, the turmoil they've faced, and their ability to still compete. I think this team is a couple years out. They have the prospects. They have the pitching. So I'm going to go B-.
I'm also going to go B-. I think there's a lot of great young talent on this team. I think they'll be able to compete in the future. I really like what this team has shown. And, I still don't think they're playing poorly, even though the record doesn't really show yet. I think they got a lot of promise later on, so I go B- as well.
Okay, here we go. Our last team in the NL East, the Nationals, 31-64. They have the best player in baseball probably on their team in Juan Soto. Still can't get it done. I'm gonna go F.
I'm gonna go F as well. The Nationals have, one of the highest market cities in Washington D.C. So there's no excuse for them not to be able to spend.
All right, so Sam is motioning to speed this up in the back, but we're gonna take our time, buzzer or no buzzer, as we joke back and forth. But to recap the grades: Mets A, we both gave them. Braves both A's. Phillies B+B. Marlins both B-. Nationals both F. So we're pretty consistent with the NL East. Let's move on. NL Central time. The Brewers 51-43. Some of the best pitching in all of baseball. One of the best pitchers in all of baseball. They've done their job in a pretty weak division, but you still have to like what they've done this season. I'm gonna go A-.
I think the Brewers could be a little bit better. Honestly, I'll give them B.
Okay.
They do have some of the best pitching staff.
A- to B might be the biggest difference we have.
Yeah. So they have some of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Their offense, they could definitely use another. I think they'll go for another offensive player at the trade deadline.
Okay, here we go. Cardinals 50-45 in the hunt for Juan Soto. They've still been really good this year. I think they're one of the best teams right now. And listen, they've shown that. I'm gonna go. I know they have a worse grade than the Brewers, but I feel better about the Cardinals right now, considering they're also in the hunt for Soto, and I go A.
50-45, I'm going C+. So
wow,
I'm going C+ because the Cardinals. I mean,
you got an MVP season out of Goldschmidt.
Yes,
I mean,
and they're 50-45. They're only 5 games above 500. The only reason they are where they are right now is because
a little bit
of Arenado and Goldschmidt.
I think they're overachieving a little bit.
They are, but
so you're going to C+ for overachieving?
Yes, but they play in a weak division too. So I don't think the Cardinals are the strongest team out there. So if they don't finish in first place, I think this is an accurate grade for them.
Okay. All right. Let's go Pirates now. 39-55. They're 12 games back in the Central in a really bad division, but they're somehow better than the Cubs and the Reds. I'm gonna go B for the Bucks. B for Bucks.
With their record, I'm going C. So unfortunately,
they came into the season as the worst team in baseball.
Yes. I do.
All that you went to a game with me at PNC Park.
Yes. And I mean, they did lose to the Cardinals. They put a fine. I'll bump it up to a C+. So fair enough.
So Sam Davis is like, you gave the Pirates a B. Well, I just did. All right, I just did.
I'll give them a C. I'll give them a C+ to be nice. I'll give them the same grade.
You're going
as the Cardinals.
C+?
Yes, I'm going C+.
Okay, so all right, B for Pirates, me, C+ for Sebastian. All right, let's go to the Cubs. 36-57. I just can't believe this team is where it's at right now. Winning the World Series in 2016, they unload everything last trade deadline. Just disappointed with the Cubs. I'm gonna go F.
I'm going F. They play in a high market, Chicago area.
Apologize to my brother who's a Cubs fan, but
yeah.
All right, you want to move on? Reds?
Yeah, Reds.
35-57, last place. They beat the Yankees this year, but
I mean they've played better. They started off really.
Let's go D-. I'm gonna go D-.
I'm gonna go C- because I think they've been better a little bit as of late.
Okay.
Honestly, they started off 3-22. I mean, ever since then they've been around 500. So I don't think they're as bad as people think they are.
So the Mets, I'm not Mets. The Brewers A-B for you.
Mm-hmm.
A Cardinals for me. C+ for you. A lot of difference this division. B Pirates me. C+ you. Both gave the Cubs an F. I gave the Reds a D-. You gave the Reds a C-. So we really, we had every single team right there. We different in the letter, except the Cubs.
Except the Cubs.
Okay, NL West. We're gonna wrap this thing up before we head to our last segment. Dodgers 62-30. They've been amazing this season. It's an A+.
It's an A, because by rule I don't give out A pluses, so I don't. I've never given A pluses, and I don't give out A pluses. So
I don't want you as my teacher. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. What's the difference between an A and an A+?
94, 99? I don't know.
A+.
I think that
A+ is 97 to 100.
if you're gonna give a team an A+, it's gonna be the Dodgers or the Yankees.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway,
the Dodgers always live
you're
with
going A.
expectations. So yeah, I'm going A.
Padres 53-42. What do you think?
I'm going B+.
All right. I'm gonna go B. I think they can really make a move for Soto the deadline. They're in a really tough division.
Yes.
You know what? B+.
B+.
They're in a tough division.
Yes,
they
are in a tough division.
All right,
yeah.
Giants 48-45 record. They've struggled this season. Our fellow FE viewer Danny Scott from Sonora, California, he's a Giants fan, but he's not going to like this grade. I'm going to give him a C.
I'm going B-. So because
Okay.
I think based on last season, people had these sky-high expectations for the Giants to replicate
Right.
that. I didn't. So, I think this is really just the Giants team, how they're actually supposed to perform. Not terrible, but like not worldly, out of this world. So I think that, this is an accurate representation of the Giants. So I go B-.
All right, let's stay in the West. Let's head out to Colorado. The Rockies 43-51. He make that big signing with Chris Bryant in the offseason. Was head-scratching then. It's still head-scratching. He's barely played this season, but somehow they're not that far off 500 in a really tough division. I got to give him a B. No one would have said the Rockies are 43-51 at this point. I really don't think so.
I'm going B- because,
Okay.
the Rockies play in a tough division. They're not terrible. They're not great in any way, but, they've shown that they can compete. So I think B- is
All right.
a fair grade.
Diamondbacks 41-52, another team that I don't think I would have seen here. I mean, like, if you place the Diamondbacks in the NL Central, like they're in it.
Yes.
And the same thing with the Rockies.
Same thing with the Rockies.
For that, I'm going B.
I'm going B+ with Diamondbacks because, you look at last season, they lost, I think, like 108 games.
Yeah.
And the Diamondbacks,
I think your B might be better than my B.
Yeah.
I mean, B+ better than my B.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks were like 500 through the first 80 games. So
You went B- Rockies, I think?
yeah, B- Rockies.
So you got Dodgers A, B+ Padres, B- Giants, B- Rockies,
Yep.
B+ Diamondbacks. That was your grades. My grades, I went A+ Dodgers, same grade with the Padres, B+, then with C with the Giants, B with the Rockies, and B with the Diamondbacks. All right, that finishes up our grades. We both gave the Nationals an F, the Cubs an F. Those headlined the F teams along with the Angels. I gave an F. You gave the Athletics an F. But the A+ teams, who you gave A's, Yankees, Astros, Dodgers. So if you haven't been following MLB and maybe you wanted to catch up a little bit, those are your grades for the first half of the season. Another buzzer. I'm rapping, and I thought we finished the division, but I guess we're still keeping the buzzer alive.